Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Smith here, back again for our 6th RE learning session, all about community. We've been on such a journey so far, thinking about ourselves, thinking about how we belong in a community, thinking about symbols of community. We've looked at Christians in their own community, what they follow. We've looked at Sikhs, and we're going to be carrying on looking at Sikhs today. We've already thought about their commitment, but we're going to be thinking about, well, how does that play out in their community? Before we do that, I wonder whether you can look back at your lovely people chain that we've been gradually building up. And I wonder whether you can spot our new Sikh person that I've drawn. I wonder whether you can have a look at yours. I've put that word commitment on there, and I've put there about being the symbols of their reminders, the 5Ks being quite important. And I've actually added the word promises on there, because actually that was a big important part of showing their commitment and being part of the Khalsa. So keep hold of that, because we're going to use that at the end of the session again. Now let's get straight in. Sikhs part 2. I'm going to share with you what you need today for your learning. Here we go. And let's just have a look at what you need. So only 2 pieces of paper today, again lined or plain, pen or pencil, and colours if you'd like, and again your people paper chain that we've already looked at today. Now once you've gone and got that, we're going to play a game, so be quick. Excellent. Right, we are going to play a quick game of Would You Rather. Now, Would You Rather is one of my favourite games. It's one of my favourites because it has such a range of different responses. And don't worry if you don't know how to play it, I will take you through it. And then hopefully, if you enjoy it a lot, then you can share that with the adults in your home or with your brothers and sisters if you have them. Right, so Would You Rather is all about explaining and giving reasons, but with very bizarre choices that you've got to make. So here we go. I'm going to give you 3 things, 3 choices, and you have to choose one and stick to that one and decide, well, what are my reasons for choosing that one and not choosing the others? So here are the choices that I'm going to give you. I'm going to share them on my screen, and then I want you to think, which one would you rather? Which one would you like to choose? So first of all, we've got number 1, to always enter a room by announcing your name. So it would be a case of, Mrs. Smith's here, like that. I don't know whether that's up your whether that's one you fancy. The second one here is to always have to do cartwheels out of a room. Now, I'm not going to show you that now because I think I will embarrass myself. But have we got any keen gymnasts out there who'd be willing to give that a go? If you don't mind doing cartwheels, or if you can do cartwheels, that might be one for you. And the third one is another active one, but I've suggested it's one where you always have to hop on one leg without switching whilst you're in a room. So they're all to do with going in and out or staying in a room. Have a think about which one you would rather do. Now, having a look at the ones that I would do, I think I'm happiest doing the always enter a room by saying your name. I think that's because I like being loud and being quite proud of myself. So I wouldn't mind people knowing that I had just entered a room. That's a really good reason, I think. What do you think? Have a really good time thinking about it and coming up with your reasons. Pause the video here to decide which one you would choose. These games are great to get you thinking, and I won't be able to hear all of your responses, although I can try my hardest to hear through the screen what you would rather. But why not go and share this with your family, with your friends, and ask them what they think. See if you can come up with some really silly reasons as to why they might do it. Now that we've had a little bit of fun, let's remind ourselves about the Sikh community. Now, remember, they can join the Khalsa, which is what we talked about last time. These were the 5 promises that they had to make. They had to wear the 5Ks. Have a look on the screen. Remind yourself of what they are. They had to follow the teaching of the 10 gurus and the Guru Granth Sahib, which was their sacred text. They had to accept responsibility for service, so serving one another in the Khalsa. They had to not drink alcohol and not have tobacco, so smoke. They weren't allowed to do that. And they had to respect women and had to work hard and give some of their money to charity. So let's see if you can think about whether you would be able to keep those. Look back at your promises that you made towards the end of the last session. Were they as good as these ones that the Sikhs have to follow in the Khalsa? Now, one of those is really, really important, that working hard and to give to charity, and to accept responsibility for service. They see it as being responsible. Now, for Sikhs, it's so important to help or to serve. And here we go. We've got an example here. If I move my video down, here we go. The sewa is the act of selfless service, so serving others. I probably have said that wrong, so I'm going to try it again. This is the save all, meaning Sikhs practice selfless service, and they perform many kinds of voluntary services and caring for every aspect of their place of worship, which is known as the Gurdwara. They also will help serve, set up, volunteering, clean, make food in what's known as their langar, which is their big kitchen area and dining room area of the Gurdwara. So they have a kitchen inside their place of worship. Pretty cool. And you can see the picture on the screen now. You'll notice a couple of things. Can you see the men going down the middle of the little aisles? It's the men who are serving, and you'll notice that they've got like a hair wrap round their heads. That's basically showing their turban that we talked about from one of their 5Ks. And it keeps their hair out of the way for when they're serving others, because they're thinking about others all the time. So I'm going to show you a few more pictures of Sikhs showing Savor, which is the selfless service. And I wonder if you can jot down all the different ways that you can see the Sikhs serving others. Have a go. Let's have a flick. Have a look here. We've got some Sikhs here. Jot down what you think they might be doing. And I'll show you another picture here. Jot down what you think they might be doing. And pause the video here to write down a sentence or two about the kinds of serving others that Sikhs do. Fantastic. Right, now sharing equally is super important to Sikhs and a big part of their Sikh community. What does sharing equally mean? Have a think. You should know from our lovely maths lessons that sharing equally is making sure that everything is divided equally. Equal means that it's balanced. It's making sure that everyone has the opportunity. No one is higher than another person. So sharing equally is really, really important. So that we can fully understand what it really, really means. I want you to think about a time in your own world, in your own life, where you know that something wasn't shared equally. It might have been your brother took too many sweets. It might have been back when I was growing up, my brother would always have one more sausage than me whenever we had sausage and mash. And my parents knew about it, believe me, they did. Why is it a problem that when things aren't shared equally? Pause the video now and have a think. Now I want you to think about a time when things were shared equally. equal parts. Why is that better? And why did that feel better? I remember the day when my mum gave me the same amount of sausages as my brother. I was so happy. I was quite full at the end, but I was really happy because I had been seen as being equal. I wonder if there's a time in your life where you realise, actually, I've been treated equally here. It just feels better when we know that we've been treated fairly or the same, even though we're unique, like we shared right at the beginning of our RE sessions. Why don't you spend some time now to just jot down your thoughts about sharing things equally? Is it important? Is it not important to you? Maybe record a time when you know that something wasn't shared equally with you, and how relieved you felt when you had a time when things were shared equally with you. Pause the video now to write it down. Great thinking. Right, now I want to talk to you now about the Langar. The Langar in the Gurdwara is such a community-based place and so important to the Sikhs. It is something that they treasure and they truly, truly appreciate. The Langar is so special to them that they've placed it in the heart of their place of worship. So when they would go and attend a time together learning from the Guru Granth Sahib, which is their sacred text, when they would hear speakers speak about how they should live their lives, how to show commitment and things like that, they would also share a meal together in the Langar, the big kitchen in their place of worship. Now, it is an expression of both the sharing equally, which is important to Sikhs, and the selfless service, which we saw with the Save All, so important that they need to be showing. It also shows that many people, they don't even have to be Sikhs, they don't have to belong to the Khalsa, they don't have to come to the Gurdwara and actually practice as a Sikh. They welcome all people of all backgrounds to come and sit and have a meal with them. The food is made and served by the members of the congregation, that's the members of the Sikh community for that Gurdwara. And everyone takes part equally. Now we're going to watch a film now together. And I've got a little challenge for you. As we watch this film, I want you to jot down 3 ways that sharing and being equal are shown. Okay, so it's going to be a video of the Gurdwara, of a Gurdwara. We're going to be joined by 2 people, Charlie and her friend Blue, and they are going to go and visit a Gurdwara. So open your eyes, and as you do it, get out your piece of paper, get out your pencil or your pen, and I want you to draw 3 things that you can spot, or write notes, 3 bits of notes that you can spot where things have been shared equally. Let's share the screen now. So that we can access the video together at the same time, you will need to pause our video here, then click on YouTube, type Charlie and Blue go into the Gurdwara, which is on the screen now, into the search box in YouTube, and click play on the video that looks like this, the picture that I've put on the screen. There are lots of Charlie and Blue video clips, so make sure you click on the right one. Now remember, as you watch the video, just like me, draw or jot down 3 things that you notice about sharing and equality. Pause the video here and go and find this clip on YouTube. Enjoy! Right, there we are. So that was Charlie and Blue visiting a Gurdwara, and a big thank you to TrueTube for allowing us to play it to you. Now, I hope you jotted down some things, or drew it, or recorded some ideas. If you haven't had enough time, pause the video now to get those thoughts down. Fantastic. Right, I came up with my list. I noticed that Charlie and Blue were sharing grapes right at the start. I thought that's actually quite important because that's something that we can do in our own lives. At the Gurdwara, they take their shoes off to show respect. I think that's good about sharing and about equality. Everyone's all equal with respect. They cover their heads to show humility. So again, that very much links to being humble and serving others. Such a big important part of the Sikh practice. We've got everyone sits on the floor, therefore everyone is equal. Blue mentioned there about God loves all, and actually therefore everyone therefore should be treated equal. And then the langar, all equal, all sit on the floor. And what was really important was that all the meals that they shared were vegetarian. So really, really good detective skills if you were able to find them out as well. So everyone in the langar sits on the floor and eats the same food. What does therefore that tell us about Sikh people? Can you think of a meal that would be really good to serve in the langar? Something that everyone can eat. Remember, not everyone eats meat. We've got vegan people. We've got people who are vegan now, so that's no meat and no dairy. So it will definitely have to be vegetarian, if not vegan. And what I want you to do to finish off today's session is to design your own meal. See if you can draw a plate like I've got here. And just draw your meal on the plate, suitable to serve at the langar. To help you out, I'm just going to share my screen with you so that you know what it needs to include. So here we go. Let's move on to the next page. No, thank you. There we go. Right, so can you think of a meal that would be good to serve in a langar? Something that everyone can eat. Consider not everyone eats meat, so it will have to be a vegetarian. Maybe you could look out for some vegetarian recipes in a recipe book. So I wonder if you could give that a go now. Pause the video now and have a go at drawing your own plate and designing your own meal. Excellent choice of meal. And if you have time later, perhaps your parents can let you have a go at making it. I just wanted to share with you something that I've been making. Here is a spinach and ricotta pasta bake. Really cheesy, lots of lovely spinach and ricotta on it, and a lovely fresh tomato sauce. It's really, really, really yummy, and it's completely vegetarian. It's a lovely meal to have. I wonder if any of you have come up with some amazing recipes that you can try today with the adults and the people in your house. Okay, now it's back to looking at our lovely people, and we're going to do another one for today's lesson. So I wonder what you are going to think about that we have learned today. I'm definitely going to put the word equality right down the middle of my person. And I'm also going to put the word share, because I think it's so important that we are sharing. And I think it's really important that we have an element of food, because we all need food. And I think the Sikhs teach us a little bit there about actually we all need to eat, and it's so important that we can do that together. So those are my key words from today's learning. I wonder what you're going to write. Pause the video here to reflect. That would be really good. Now, thank you for spending time with me today. It's been really, really good to consider all the things that Sikhs do in their community to really help one another. That's all for today. Next time, we will be thinking about Hindus and what they follow to really show commitment in their community. Thank you, everyone. Bye.